Hey guys, it's me, Beth, and this video is being shot in my bathroom. That's right, my bathroom, because my house really has been taken over by my husband and actually just one of his bandmates, but they're making so much noise it may as well be the whole band. They're writing a new song and they're demoing it down in the basement, and this was the only place I had to go where I could film in a relatively quiet space. At least I'm well lit. This is probably the best lit room in the whole house because we have a skylight in the bathroom. So this would actually be a great stitching room, but unfortunately it's my bathroom. I can't stitch in here. But anywho, I wanted to do an update. It's been a while and quite a lot has been happening. Not a whole lot on the Flosstube front, but just stuff in general. And so I'll go ahead and kind of get the Flosstube business, I don't want to say out of the way because it makes it sound like I don't enjoy doing it. I love doing it. But anyway, we'll start off with whips. And I haven't been, actually I have a finish to show you, although it's still on the scroll bars, but this is peacock feather that I found the chart on Etsy, and I wanted to do this. I actually had someone else in mind when I first started doing it to give this to, and then my focus changed to somebody else, and now I'm not sure. So it's almost done. I added, it's probably hard to see if I can get it to catch the light, but there's I added some Krennic to the eye here, just to kind of give it a little bit of extra sparkle. And I've got some green Krennic yet that I might add on the green. I don't know, it might be too much, overkill. And I may end up putting beads or scattering stitches around, but I'm thinking of doing a song lyric along one side. Because I love to customize and add on little things, tweak my patterns. So anyway, that's my one finish to show. I actually had another finish, and I already gave it to the person I was going to give it to. I had mentioned this before. I was doing a birch tree for this artist acquaintance of mine. I guess you can call him a friend now. I don't know. More about that later, but I gave that to him, and so it's gone. But there is I did film a little bit of it when I was getting ready to leave. I have a video, I think it's actually unlisted, but maybe if you look on my channel, it's there. It was my packing for my Europe trip, and so I'll talk a little bit more about that. I have a bit of a trip report to give in this video too. But I did finish that, got it framed, and I have yet another finish that I gave to my aunt a few months ago, unframed, the Queen Mermaid, Mirabilia Queen Mermaid, and I believe I had shown that in a video, but she sent me a picture of it framed. It's very small, but I will find a way to put it into this video, and if I don't end up putting it in the video, then I will post it on one of the Facebook groups I'm in. I'm in Stitch Mania, I'm in Cross Stitch and Discuss, and a couple of others. So those are the big ones that I'm in, and I haven't been very active in those groups, for which I apologize. There's just been so much else going on. It's hard to find the time to really sit there, but I very much enjoy being a looky-loo in those groups and seeing everyone's finishes and what they're working on. And Cross Stitch and Discuss is really fun. I really should participate more. I'm going to try to. So if I don't get the picture in this video, I'll put it on Facebook. So that's enough about finishes. Whips, I have two to show you right now that I've been working on. The first one is Tidal River #1 from By the Bay Needle Art, and doing this one in hand. And I had a chance to work on this today for the first time in several months because I've been focused so much on the peacock and the tree. Just wanted to get those finished and done. That I picked this up for the first time today, and I was actually cross-stitching. I had a little stitching meetup with Stephanie from, oh God, and I'm blanking on her channel name. Oh God, Stephanie, you're gonna kill me. I'm so sorry. I know it. This is why you take notes, note to self, take notes. Anyway, we met up at a Starbucks about halfway between our two houses up here in Northern Virginia, and sat for like 2 hours, just flew by because we were stitching and talking and having a blast. It was really good to get out and meet somebody new who was into the same thing, and I was really surprised at how easy it was to stitch there at the table and set it up, and she had a proper lap stand, so she was styling. Stephanie was good to go. I just had my work in hand, and I had my little magnifier, which I clipped onto the side of the table, and it fit perfectly. And I was just stitching in hand using the sewing method. And some guy even said, "Oh, that looks like fun," or I forget exactly what he said to us, but we got a couple comments, and so yeah, it was very fun. I love stitching in public. I love meeting other stitchers, especially local ones. So we're going to try to make this a regular occasion, or at least as regular as possible. And we of course are going to invite anybody who wants to join us, who lives up in this general, DC metro area. They're very welcome to join us. So as we when we get another date, it's probably going to be sometime in September. I think that month will work out well for us. We'll post again on Facebook, and I'm sure she'll mention it on her channel. Of course, I'll mention it in my next update video if we have a date that we're doing, and if I have enough to update people on. Anyway, one way or another, we will get the word out, and hopefully other people can join us, because it was a lot of fun. And it was really great to meet you, Stephanie. Sorry about the channel name again. I'll look it up and I'll put it in the comments, because, yeah. I'm a moron. So the only other work in progress, the only other whip I've got to show is Twin Mermaids, and I haven't done a whole lot on that since the last time. I've worked on her and started to do work a little bit in her body, and I'm doing the regular DMC first and leaving the water lilies last, just because the silk thread is so soft and it frays, the ends fray so easily that if I do it along with the DMC, or put it in first and then do the DMC, I'm finding that the tails get caught in my stitches, and they get all messed up and pulled through. So it's just the back. I don't know why I'm showing this, because it's probably not very helpful, but anyway, the fuzzy little tails on this side with the silk thread get pulled through to the front, and it just makes a mess, and it's very hard to fix. So that's kind of my lesson learned with working with the silk threads, is do them last. So that is really all I have as far as what I finished and what I've been working on. So other stitching news, well, let's see, it's kind of stitching is life, and so kind of a life update. I'm going back to Pennsylvania tomorrow for just a quick 2-day visit. I don't know if I'm going to get to Hodgepodge. I know they're going to be closed tomorrow because I'm going up on a Sunday, and everything is closed on Sunday up there. They might also be closed on the Monday, so I might only get a chance to drop by there on Tuesday. But if I do, I'll certainly go in and at least say hi to Marcia, the owner. And that's the Hodgepodge stitchery store, mostly cross stitch, down in Strasburg, Pennsylvania. And so if anyone sees this and you're in the area and you want to get together, I'll actually be staying in the east part of the county, very near the village of Whitehorse in Salisbury Township. So let me know if you're in Chester County or somewhere nearby. Maybe we can, in the evening, if I don't stay too late at my friend's house, because this is the last week of summer vacation for their kids, and we always, in the evenings, we like to play, and they stay up as late as they possibly can. So with it not being a school night, I know they're gonna want to stay up and play. But maybe we can find some way to get together. Long shot, I know, but give me a holler, and I can reach out to you and get you my cell phone number, or friend you on Facebook, and we'll see what can happen. And if not, well, hey, there's always going to be another time, as I'm in Pennsylvania a lot. Okay, other than that, I did start my Facebook group, the closed group for needle minders, and a lot of other things that I make. Not just that, but I do beaded jewelry. I have scissor fobs on there. Lots of little various things. I have started that. It's called the Raven's Treasure Nest, and I'll put a link to it in the description. Please join. I have a little bit of content in there, not a whole lot. It's sort of a sycophantic thing. If people join and show a lot of interest, or if they have requests, then chances are very good I can do something for you. But I want to have lots of people join and get more activity going in there, and you just kind of try to make this group come alive. And it's a slow process for me, because I don't do this full time, unfortunately, but the stuff I make is very good quality. I do very quick shipping. When someone orders and I have it, it's there and it's ready to go. And so anyway, I hope you get a chance to check it out, and please join and browse around. And if you see anything you like or have questions, just let me know, and I'm always glad to work with people. So that is pretty much all the stitching news I think I have. Just on the general life front, I might be having more time to stitch soon if something doesn't change, because I found out that I'm losing my job. The contract is coming to an end on September 30th, and so that gives me a good 6 weeks notice. I've already put out a bunch of applications. I've had one phone interview and one in-person interview already, which is a very good sign. Don't know if I'm going to hear anything back, but these just happened, so now it's the waiting game. It's the worst. If you've ever been in that boat of waiting to get a call back after the interview, you know how I feel. So anyway, I hope to stay employed fairly continuously. My husband and I are actually doing almost 2 back-to-back beach trips. And normally I would be so happy about this, but because of this sort of shadow hanging over my head about the work situation, I'm going to try to just put that aside when we're on vacation, because that's what vacation is for, and not obsess over it. But we're going to the Outer Banks a week from today. So today is Saturday the 20th. So we're going next Saturday. I guess that would be the 26th or 27th. We're staying in Nag's Head, near milepost 14, if that means anything to anybody who knows the Outer Banks. And as with my Pennsylvania trip over the next couple of days, if anybody is going to be down at the Outer Banks during that same week, so we'll be there Saturday to Saturday, so I think we're coming back September the 3rd, and we're staying in a really nice central location. So if anyone watching this just happens to be on vacation down in the Nag's Head, Kitty Hawk, Kill Devil Hills area at the same time, even Duck and Corolla is a little far north, but even if you're down at Rodanthe, Salvo, Waves, hey, I think it would be awesome to have some kind of beachy meetup, and it would be, again, a long shot, totally random thing, but we are staying in a really big house in Nag's Head Village, and there would be plenty of room for people if you don't mind a rambunctious, very cute but rambunctious 5-year-old boy running around. He's very respectful though of the stitching and knitting. He's not a grabby, hands-on. He knows to keep his distance, but he's very interested. He likes to watch me stitch and knit, and he likes to watch his grandma knit. But he definitely knows better than to touch and mess with your stuff. So cute kid. Anyway, or we could get together at some restaurant, or heck, Stitch on the beach. I think there's a pavilion right by where we're staying. That might be nice if you don't mind salt air around your stitching. Anywho, I'll definitely be bringing projects down there and just trying to relax. Although when we do the family vacations, I always end up being the designated dishwasher, the DD, because I'm the only one who's really willing to do it. I just stay on top of it. So yeah, I don't mind. It's everyone else is there. They have much harder jobs and busier lives than I do. So it's my way of sort of paying people back for taking us down there in the first place. So yeah, anywho, then the other trip we're taking is our usual trip down to Mexico, down to the Riviera Maya. We always stay at an all-inclusive resort every first week of every October, and so this year we're going down to a resort we haven't been to before, and we're excited about that. It's actually pretty close to the Cancun airport. Normally it's a 60 to 90 minute drive south, so this will be a lot closer, and we've heard really great things about it, and it's all adults. So we try to stay at the all adult places whenever we can. It's just very relaxing that way to not have, and you know what, it's not really even about the kids. I'm fine with kids. I don't have any of my own. They seem to like me a great deal, but kids are kids. For me, it's more stressful being around the parents, because they're the ones who are, if they're not having a good trip with the kids, and I've just seen so many, I've been on trips down there to resorts where kids were there, and the parents were all yelling at them and come in here, and just screaming their name, and just being really, really tense, and just kind of making the other guest a little uncomfortable sometimes with their attitudes and the way they were talking, to their tone of voice, and it wasn't fun to see. So that's our real reason for not going to places with kids. Nothing against the kids themselves. They usually, most of the ones I've seen have been quite well behaved, which is another reason why it kind of stupefies me why the parents are being so short and nasty with them, because from what I can see, they were just being kids. They were having a good time trying to, without mom and dad barking at them every 30 seconds. So yeah. All right, so yeah, that's kind of the upcoming trips. So I thought maybe now, if you've stuck around, if you're interested in hearing, I'll talk a little bit about the trip that I just made over to Europe at the end of July. I flew out on July 26th and came back August the 3rd, I do believe, or 2nd. So bad with dates. Names, dates, you name it. Get notes. So yeah, the trip was awesome. I flew out, I actually took this discount airline that is based in Iceland. They're called WOW. Everything is purple, and not like some nice deep royal purple, kind of a violet purple, I don't know, anyway. Flew out of Baltimore. They're notorious for being very late, not having very on-time flights. They're notorious for losing luggage, so I didn't bring any checked luggage. I just had a bag. So glad I did that. But anyway, the flight itself was okay. It was actually roomier than I thought it would be. And we left Baltimore. We were only a little bit late. Got into Iceland like a little after 5 in the morning. And because it's Iceland and it's so far north in latitude, and it was the middle of summer, it was very light when we landed. So, landing, I thought we'd taken a wrong turn and ended up in Mars. If you've never been to Iceland before, dude, you gotta go. I have this friend who went to Iceland a couple years ago, and ever since then she's been like pestering me like, you gotta go, Beth, you gotta go. It's the most amazing place. And I'm thinking, yeah, okay, fine. It's a little rocky volcanic island, and it's like a cold Hawaii. It's in the middle of nowhere. Well, now I know, and now I am converted. I am on the Iceland train. You gotta go to Iceland. So go to Iceland. It's absolutely amazing. So the flight in, you know, landing, and it was a clear day, and the sun was already up, even though it was 5 in the freaking morning, and just an amazing. The airport, the Reykjavik airport, which isn't that close to Reykjavik, the city. It's actually on a peninsula just south of there, in Keflavik, next to a town called Keflavik. Anyway, the airport is in the middle of this volcanic lava field. And that, in and of itself, is worth the trip. It's just so alien looking. It really does feel like you are on a completely different planet. And so we landed. I got my rental car because I decided to stay overnight. One night, I originally was just going to fly in. I had about an hour between flights, and I was going to catch the next flight out to Frankfurt. But I had heard so many horror stories about this airline being delayed that sometimes people didn't make their connecting flights. But I had also heard that, well, they hold up the connecting flights a lot, so to make sure that people can make it. So it was kind of a toss-up, but I was like, why not? You know, just stay a night in Iceland and rent a car and just drive around and see what there is to see. And I'm really glad I did that. So I got the rental car, and mercifully they drive on the same side of the road that we do in the United States. It's right-hand side. So that was good because I had there was enough things for me to adjust to, like, you know, this new car that I'd never driven before, and it was a model of car that I'm a Ford person. This was not a Ford, I'll put it like that. So and it actually was a 4-wheel drive. They upgraded me. Thank you, Enterprise. They always do that. But I didn't take it off-road. They said you could if you want to. I was like, I'm not going to get the gravel insurance. So I kept it on the main roads. But my God, those main roads. I mean, the roads were fine. They were actually fairly empty. And I ended up taking a wrong turn, and I was sort of driving around Keflavik, and this was, you know, it was still a little before rush hour. And even so, I mean, traffic was fine, but just there was so much to look at. The scenery, everything around you. I'm in the car. I'm trying to get everything dialed in. You know, I'm finding a great radio station, and it's a cool alternative station, 97.7. Yeah, Nýjashushu. Speak Icelandic. Anyway, and the whole time, I'm driving and I'm looking around and seeing all the scenery, and I'm just going, this place is crazy. This place is crazy. And an hour later, when I was out on what's called the Golden Circle Highway, that just goes in a big, rough circle around the more southern part of the island, I was still yelling, this place is crazy, but for completely different reason. It's just so much to take in. Almost overwhelming. I took as many pictures as I could. I tried to get a couple of videos. It's really hard to do that though when you're driving and you're alone. So I highly recommend, if you go with a friend, and if you're going to drive, take turns driving so the other person gets a break and they can do the, swivel your head 360 to try to take it all in. Just, the mountains, the lava fields, the volcanoes, the glaciers, the waterfalls, the geysers, the ponies, even the other cars. They've got crazy, jacked up 4-wheel, because a lot of roads in Iceland are off-road. They're gravel, and people just live for that kind of thing. So it's crazy. It was like Icelandic rednecks, yeah, you my people. So I did the Golden Circle tour. I stopped at Geyser, which is where where geyser comes from. They had several that were, you know, coming up out of the ground. They had, you know, little bitty geysers that just kind of boom, 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 boom. They had big ones that went kaboom every 10 minutes or so, and you know, simmering cauldron pools, and of course signs everywhere saying the water is very, 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 very hot. Do not just read the sign, believe us, don't test us with your hands. And yet there's idiots still leaning over and dipping their fingers into the stream like, yeah, really? No, I don't really. Like, oh yeah, okay, yeah, they're right. Dumbasses, tourists. Anyway, after geyser, I drove up. It was just a short drive to arguably the most beautiful waterfall in the country, Gullfoss, which stands for the Golden Waterfall. But I guess Gullfoss is shorter, easier to say than whatever the Icelandic expression is for, holy crap, look at this fall, I mean, look at it, it just goes on and on and on and on, fall. So yeah, I guess Gullfoss is better. But it was seriously a crazy, amazing waterfall, and I've put up some pictures on my Facebook page. I'm thinking of starting an Instagram profile as well, just to have pictures up there so people can see pictures and not have to deal with Facebook silliness. I'll also see what I can do about putting in some pictures in this video as well, but Gullfoss was wow. Yeah, so I spent a fair amount of time there. Just walking around with my mouth hanging open and lots of spray, water spray getting in my mouth and my face and everything because, yeah, holy crap, Gullfoss was neat. And so then on the way down, I continued on the circle, did not come exactly back the way I went, you know, it basically follows the path of a river. One of I think it's the fastest river in Iceland, so there's a lot of there's geothermal stuff everywhere. This was, of course, you know, water powered. They're all about alternative energy, and so that's another neat thing about Iceland is you're driving around and off in the distance you'll see, you know, just these huge columns of steam coming out of the ground, and that's where they've tapped into the underground geothermal sources and are using those for energy. So yes, there are certainly power lines there. The places that are powered by the river water, of course the turbines have to have the power lines, and they all go one direction, Reykjavik. You can always tell where Reykjavik is, follow the power lines. If you get lost, follow the power lines. But yeah, it's just a neat country, and there are lots of places to pull off on this highway, Highway 36. Here you can take pictures, photo ops. So yeah, Iceland was awesome. And in the evening, I hung out in the town of Keflavik a little bit, took pictures of their little harbor, watched all the local people out there enjoying what was apparently a very rare, warm, clear evening. It was a beautiful day. I turned in early, got some sleep, got on the flight the next morning to Frankfurt, and the flight was a little bit delayed. They said they were waiting for some connecting flight passengers, and I was like, ha ha ha, that would have been me, because originally I was going to fly in from Baltimore that morning, change planes, and get on that same flight to Frankfurt. But when we left, there were still a fair number of empty seats, which I thought was odd, because from what I had seen, these WOW flights are usually packed, and there is not an empty seat on a plane, because they're major discount airline.